This is the continuation of the Ron Square. I was middle of recording. I was middle of explaining how the story behind this book, and then it just cut off. Middle, it stopped. Maybe it needs two parts. But anyways, this book, it's kind of a brownish color. It's really nice. It's kind of like it looks like you have these kind of pages that you can take out and put back in. Looks like it's meant to do that. But anyway, a little bit flimsy. But anyway, I bought this on Rehov Yafo on Gimel Tammuz. It was a Sunday. Gimel Tammuz of Tafshin Pei Hey, Parshas Chukas. It was Sunday, June 29th of 2025. And that was the 31st, I think, yard study of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And so when I opened this book, it's all for I was explaining about Gematria. So there's hundreds of different ciphers, and if you want to go into the deep sod level, it's endless. I mean, you take one word. I'll just give you an example, okay? About how powerful Gematria is in terms of giving you a deeper understanding. The word Semach means a branch or a shoot. One of those, it's like a sprouting. Semach, it's like I think it's a plant. But it could mean a branch also. I think it means a branch. Something that sprouts forth, okay? The word Semach, if you want to do the Hebrew Gematria, let's just say the regular Gematria that everyone would know, they would say 138. Why? Because Tzaddik is 90, and Mem is 40, and Ches is 8, 138. But there are many more ciphers. You can do ordinal. Ordinal means that you're going Aleph through Tav, and it's like 1 through 22, and you're just going Aleph is 1, Beis is 2, Gimel is 3, and you don't go by tens when you get to Yud. You just go Yud is 10, Kaf is 11, like that. Lamed is 12, and then Shin is 21, and then Tav is 22. There are amazing results if you do that cipher. And if you do that cipher, Semach is going to be 39. What's very interesting is that, according to Rabbi Tovia Singer, it says the word Mashiach 39 times in the Torah. So Semach equals 39. In ordinal, that proves that ordinal is a real thing. And then also the amount of words in the parsha of Shiluach HaKan is 39 words. And then if you want to go to Mispar Katan, if you're just doing the single digits, it's 21. 21 is, I don't even want to get started on that one. There's a lot of things. 21 is 21 times 21 is MS. 21 is equal to Aleph Hey Yud Hey, one of the names of Hashem. Right? I'm being respectful for the audience, and Gem 120. Let's see. Semach is equal to. Okay, there's like one. Okay, these are all things that Semach equals. Okay, there's Hebrew primes. You do prime numbers. What about trigonal? You're doing triangle numbers. Those are when you just add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Semach equals 121, 298, 557, 120, 602, 75. I mean, Semach in Atbash equals Kohen in regular. So Semach is connected to a Kohen. Avdit Semach and Yehoshua ben Yehotzadak was a Kohen. Semach, that whole thing. Semach equals Kohen. I mean, these are rooted in Tanakh. I mean, if you want to stick to the text, you could do the text. But there's infinite ways to analyze the text. How do you do it? You need these technologies. You do it through technology. You do it through Gematria, but not just one. There are literally, I don't want to exaggerate, so I'm going to say 18 different ways you could see one word, but there's probably a lot more. There might be hundreds. Okay, 109, 676, that's 26 squared. 26 squared is 676. And this par kidney, that's another way. That's where you're doing like the triangle number process where you're applying it to whatever letter value was before it, you add that. So in this market meat, Tzemach is 676, 472, 1544. It's okay. I think the point is. So anyway, getting back to this, I bought this on the yard site of Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, which this year was June 29th. In that year, in 1994, it was June 12th. I remember it well. It was Saturday night. Very early in the morning, Sunday morning, but it was actually a Sunday also. Interesting. Back then it was a Sunday, and this year I bought it on a Sunday, and it's a very big, amazing completion. Okay, now that was the Lubavitch Rebbe, who we all know is connected with Mashiach in a major way. I mean, you have to be living under a rock not to know that the Lubavitch Rebbe is connected with Mashiach. I mean, Jews and Gentiles alike, everyone knows that the Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson is like almost synonymous with Mashiach. I mean, you can't think of Mashiach, and that's true for all the Chabad Rebbes, but I mean, for this day and age, for sure, many people think he is the Mashiach, actually, in the Chabad world. But anyway, this right here, this black book, I also got in the same place, and this connects to a different source. You're going to a different stream of energy. You're going to remember I mentioned before, the Moroccan, Sephardic, Chabad, not Chabad, what am I doing? Happens to be some Sephardics have gone Chabad. But anyway, the Moroccan, Sephardic, Kabbalistic, the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. Everyone, I was thinking of Abu Chatzera, and some Abu Chatzeras, incidentally, have gone Chabad. It's kind of like a overlapping there. But check this one out here. I got this one on the yard site of the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. It says that the Abu Chatzera's family, like the Baba Sali of blessed memory, and his family, his brothers, or his family, they would complete all the Orach Chaims every week on the Torah of what they said on the Parsha. So the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, Rabbi Chaim ben Attar, who lived in, he was born in Morocco, and then he was a rabbi in, I think, Livorno for some time. I think so. Maybe it was, Padua was Ramchal. Livorno is the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. I think so. And then he came to Israel the last year or so of his life, at age 47. And I'm 47 now, and then I'm doing this work, which is really amazing. That number 47 is coming up this year quite a bit. But he has a very special connection to me, because my birthday, July 7th, was, from at least when I read from sources, I think they should be reliable, was his yard site, was Tet Vav of Tammuz, 15th of Tammuz, was July 7th in the year 1743. So that's my birthday actually in the year 1978. But the idea is that they say that the spirit of Mashiach rested upon Rabbi Chaim ben Attar. And it's also talked about the Baal Shem Tov, that the Baal Shem Tov, he was this is all in the mystical sayings, so you probably know what I mean if I'm saying this, but it says when the Baal Shem Tov was doing Aliyat Neshama, when he was going up, then the Orach Chaim HaKadosh was already coming down. It was said that the Baal Shem Tov is the nefesh of Mashiach, or the nefesh of, I think, David, but David is like Mashiach, it's kind of like, each thing is a kind of a symbol of the other. So when you say David, you're saying Mashiach. So Baal Shem Tov was the nefesh of David / Mashiach, and the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. It's all very airy for me, so I'm just going with it. But it's just, these are things that are said over and over, and I'm hearing them year after year after year. So I lend credence to it only from the fact that it has this credence in its reliability, in its transmission. These are oral transmissions that are given over, and so that's why I'm quoting it. But to actually understand it technically, it's a little bit, you got to keep it kind of broad strokes, brushing, kind of like a general picture. But anyway, it says that the Or HaChaim was the neshama or the ruach of Mashiach. I think the ruach or neshama, the ruach. He was the ruach of Mashiach, and Baal Shem Tov was the nefesh of Mashiach. Anyway, the point is that the Baal Shem Tov was eating Shal Shudas, and he said that I know that the Or HaChaim had passed away because the Ner HaMaravi had been the light of the west. The Or HaChaim had left. They lived around the same time though, and it said that if they met, then the actual Messiah would have come. These things that people say, but I like it that I'm giving it over now on this day of another special day, the 20th of Tammuz, which is like 19th and 20th of Kislev. 19th and 20th of Kislev, now it's today, and it's like the winter time. You can look back at the summertime, completely different energy. But anyway, what I would like to share is that I bought this book on Friday, July 11th, 2025, as Parshas Balak. Although the Parsha when he was actually in with Pinchas, but Balak is too close. And it was the 15th day of Tammuz, it was a Friday this year. So my point by saying all this is that these two tzaddikim, and this is like a brownish, which reminds you of the paraduma. Like the red cow was really kind of more brownish, like a reddish brown. But it was born, it was Parshas Chukas, was Gimel Tammuz. But anyway, these two tzaddikim that come in the summertime, the Lubavitcher Rebbe and the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, who both were highly, highly messianic souls. They were highly catalytic in bringing the redemption, the Geula. And it's even more deep when you analyze it more. You think about the two factions or the two groups of Jews generally today, Ashkenazim and Sephardim. Ashkenaz and Sfard, you have that represented here too. Ashkenaz and Sfard. So, getting back to the Moroccan thing, the one who told me the numbers of the Ron square, I called it Ron square because Ron is a Roshei Tevot, is the acronym for Raphael Nissim. If you're out there and as you watch this far, you know who you are. Raphael Nissim, and Raphael Nissim is the one who I asked every day, what's the number for today? And here's just how I think. This is just my mystical kind of sensibility, is that if I'm talking, and his name is very famous, his ancestry is a very famous Kabbalistic family. It's well known in the Moroccan Sephardic Kabbalah world. And if I'm asking him, it's like the Schus Avos, the Schut Avot, his upline is mashpia in his DNA, and then he is able to tell me these numbers. It's like in Shemayim, this is totally imaginative, but I'm going with it. It's like in Shemayim, they would use him because his DNA is linked upline to that world of people who were delved into that, and they have that in their DNA. Therefore, he was chosen to give it to me. So then I asked him, what's the number for today? And then he said 345. And you know when this started? This takes it back to the Or HaChaim. That this thing was started on the Hilula of the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. It was the celebration of the anniversary of the passing. It was on July 22nd of 2024, which that night, it was the 16th of Tammuz, but his yard site was on the 15th, but you could celebrate at night, that night is the same thing. It was Parshas Pinchas, the actual Parsha that he was nifter in. Last year, 5784, now it's going to be 2 years, but I'm saying it was in 5784. Then, what's interesting about these squares, they followed the 752 pattern, but they didn't change each month. Each month, I just went over and over it. I got it the first month, 35 days, and then it went, and then when I hit 35 days, I started from there, but they were the same numbers. It was 345, 72, 91, 79, 21, 7, 80, 295, 248, 348, 87, 10, 5, 74, 3, 45, 36, 74, 96, 27, 97, 36, 57, 93, and then 97. That's 25 numbers, but again, remember the 752, it represents 35 days. It started on Monday, July 22nd of 2024, which was Yom Sheni, 16th of Tammuz. I think that the Halula must have been Sunday night, the 21st of July. Yeah, Sunday the 21st. I remember it now. Yep, I know what I did that Sunday. Okay, so then it was the Halula was on a Sunday night, but in the Jewish, the night goes into the next day. Okay, so that Sunday was the 15th of Tammuz, and it was July 21st. The night came, and then it was 16th of Tammuz, and then the next day was July 22nd. That all makes sense. By the way, 722 is connected to pi in a certain way. Anyway, getting back, and then it really ended, it completed, when? When did it complete? This is beautiful. I would say one of my favorite days of the year. I would say the energy of Tu B'Av is woo. I'm getting like chills just thinking about it. Tu B'Av. It ended on the Friday that was 14 Menachem Av. That was the day before this year in 2025. Okay, in 2025, Tu B'Av was on Shabbat. Yeah, it was. Tu B'Av was on Shabbat. And just like it was in 2021, that's another connection between the, It's another connection. Don't be lazy. I'm telling myself, don't be lazy. T1 is the 21st day of the month. T5 is the 25th day of the month. These two columns are qualitatively different than all the other columns. That's yet another reason why, which goes to the Psukim in Parshas V'Eschanan. It's limited to figure out why there's a misprint there in the Chumashim. Well, that's Tzarech Ian. These questions don't really go away; they stay there. But anyway, 2021 Tu B'Av was on Shabbat, and in 2025 Tu B'Av was on Shabbat. But the Ron squares completed. They came to a terminus. They came to a completion on Friday, August 8th of 2025, which was Yom Shishi, 14 Menachem Av. Menachem Av, Menachem Av, Menachem Av, 11 months. 11 times 35 is 385, correct, Mundo, Senorita? That is the amount of days of a leap year, of a Jewish leap year. I mean, Jewish year is like 354 or 355. You get the extra day, it's 355. And then you do the extra month, it's 385. 385 is the amount of time. If you do 35 times 10, obviously it's 350. But 35 times 11, right? Is 385, right? So it takes you from 350, remember the 35, 10, and 11, and that's when it ended. I think I started going into that month, but then I realized that it was fading out, so that's where it stops. I think we'll leave it here for now.